listening experience. VoxWave.com.
Check out all your favorite shows at VoxWave.com. On Mondays, we keep it moving with the Kim Show from 11 to 1 p.m. Then it's time for a change with Sherry and Mignon, 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then in the end, we win with Curtis, 8:15 p.m. to 9:15 p.m. On Tuesdays, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Start your afternoon with the Wealth Zone with Raymond Starks. Then it's Cooking with Flavors with Chef Flavors, 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. And treat yourself right with My Spa Bath and Body, hosted by Margaret Harris, 7 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Up next is Slick Daddy Rick, Heartbeat Congo Hour, rocking from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Then on Wednesdays, you can't miss Impact the World with Cheryl Woods, 12 noon to 2 p.m. And then from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., we got Slick Talk with Oscar D and It's the Kid. Then from 8 to 9 p.m., we crank it up with Live Set Wednesdays, hosted by Reg Gaskins. And after that, 9:15 to 10:15 p.m., the BGKH Show with Dominion and Epic. And check out our Thursday lineup, starting with You, Math, and Me, hosted by George Randall, from 10 to 10:30 a.m. Then from 7 to 9 p.m., the 640 Evening Show with DJ 640. And on Fridays, we start out with Peace in the Morning Show with Darius A. Stan, co-host Delicate Daryl Barnes, and Queen of Sudabed, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. From 10:30 to 11:30, the Hall Street Journal with Robert Hall and co-host Clarence Sanders. And after that, you know we gotta check in with Chanel's 3 Cents, 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Up next, from 3 to 4:30 p.m., Daryl Allen Hairston II Crime Victims Foundation Show with your host, Daryl Hairston. Then, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. is The Rush Hour with DJ Drew and Janique. And from 9:15 to 11:15 p.m., you can't miss Different Mind Show with Bam 640 and DJ Andre Michael, co-host Hillary Banks. Then start out your Saturday mornings with the Healer Blues Show, hosted by Ron Jackson. After that, 9:30 to 10:30 a.m., the Hour of Power with Reverend Winters Rogers. Then, from 11 a.m. to 12 noon, it's time for prayer, praise, and deliverance with Elder Thurman Gorman Jr. Four Sisters Live Talk, 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Then every second Saturday, listen to Turning Dreams into Reality Talk Show with Tashika L. Green, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. After that, from 3 to 4 p.m., we walk in newness 24/7 with Missionary Antoinette. And don't miss, from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m., news, ULM News and Analysis, information, sports, Black history, with your host, news anchor Roderick Carter Rivers, 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Then, from 6:30 to 7:30 p.m., it's time for DJ Rick, the CEO of Step Your Game Up, the Youth Project, co-hosted by DJ Main and DJ Low Hefe. And then, at 7:45 to 8:45 p.m., it's time for the Fantastic Live Show with MC Fran. And starting out on Sundays, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., I am Dr. Sharon Show with Dr. Sharon. And every first Sunday, from 3 to 4 p.m., it's the Riri Williams Show, Fashion and Style Hour. And every third Sunday, check out the Tea Talk Show with Dr. Akita Pearson, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Then it's time for Real Talk 101, 6 to 8 p.m. And from 8:15 to 9:15 p.m., we're tuned into the Gospel Live TV show with Glory Mello. Stay tuned to Vox Wave, where you can find all your favorite shows.
The world's #1 streaming music station, VoxWave.com.
One more time.
You're gonna hear the pages turn. Let me take my gazelles off. but can't let go. Even though I need it so. Your arms, they soothe me, but I ain't no game. I ain't no toy, I ain't just friend. This ain't no movie, man. I'm a real woman. Been down this road before. I just need more. I just need more. Why does my body know what my mind says? I try to keep it intact, but I'm here in this bed. I need to listen. Why does my body know what my mind says? I try to keep it intact, but I'm here in this bed. I need to listen. Emotions deep down inside of me, I'm trying to hide, but they keep finding me. I wanna lay low, but continuously you do all the right things, so sweet to me. What do I do? Why does my body know what my mind says? I try to keep it intact, but I'm here in this bed. I need you. Damn. Why does my body know what my mind says? I try to keep it intact, but I'm here in this bed.
Got that ocean of soul, baby, you're super deep. And I'm the man that still with skills, call me super. I got that technique that keeps you coming back to back. And I know you feel it all in your stomach whenever you arch your back. I'ma pull your hair, I know you love that. When I maneuver this tongue, your eyes roll back. I work inside angles, I'm a Karma Sutra pro. Kitchen table down to the floor. Ass in the air while you biting that pillow. You know how I chop and shoot. That's what a diamond chip dig do. That's what a diamond chip dig do.
All my mind says, and my body says something different. Why does my body know what my mind says? I try to keep it intact, but I'm here in this bed. He got that thickness again. Trying to make it get up like biscuits with breakfast so cold. Why does my body know? Trying to make it get up like my mind says. I try to keep it intact, but I'm here in this bed. I'm scared of this. He got that thickness. Kinda make it get up making baskets with breakfast so gone. And I ain't even thinking about the next chick that he messed with. So reckless, so gone.
Along with Then Sings My Soul Productions, is pleased to announce Wyoming Paris's Then Sings My Soul musical. The TSMS group is seeking support in our movement concerning domestic violence. This soul-stirring stage production is not to entertain, but to educate, encourage, and help eradicate this horrible disease that's plaguing women, men, and children who are affected daily in households across the world. Please join us in supporting 3-year-old Skylar Johnson Scholarship Fund. Skylar's grandmother was murdered by her fiance, then leaving Skylar's mother at age 3 to be raised by her uncle and maternal grandmother. To make your tax-deductible donation to a Skylar Johnson Scholarship Fund and for ticket information on Then Sings My Soul stage play in Brooklyn, New York on May 5th and 6th, visit thensingsmysoul.org. That's w.thensingsmysoul.org. Vox Radio, along with Then Sings My Soul Productions, is pleased to announce Wyoming Paris's Then Sings My Soul musical. The TSMS group is seeking support in our movement concerning domestic violence. This soul-stirring stage production is not to entertain, but to educate, encourage, and help eradicate this horrible disease that's plaguing women, men, and children who are affected daily in households across the world. Please join us in supporting 3-year-old Skylar Johnson Scholarship Fund. Skylar's grandmother was murdered by her fiance, then leaving Skylar's mother at age 3 to be raised by her uncle and maternal grandmother. To make your tax-deductible donation to a Skylar Johnson Scholarship Fund, and for ticket information on Then Sings My Soul stage play in Brooklyn, New York on May 5th and 6th, visit thensingsmysoul.org. That's www.thensingsmysoul.org.
Good evening, everyone.
Evening.
Welcome to the BGK8 show with Dominion and Epic. I am Dominion.
And I am Epic.
And this is the show for the blacks.
Blacks?
Black.
Black?
What you call them black? Who you call it black?
Everybody black.
Right. The gays.
Girl.
Hey.
Girl.
The kinky people.
Come in and stick my finger in your butthole. And then once I stick
Consensually.
Okay.
Consensually.
See, now we done ruined the illusion.
Well,
now.
because that's my complex feelings, because I was going to talk about Bill Cosby, but we're going to talk about consent because the girls be trying it.
Okay.
So
we're going to assume that you was consenting to me sticking my finger in your butthole.
Right, exactly.
And then everything else I'm sticking in there too.
Exactly.
But anyway.
And all of the humans.
Hey, mortals.
So, we are coming to you exclusive. Oh, this is episode 17.
Yeah, today is Wednesday, May the 2nd.
May 2nd. Yeah, this is time has flying. You know,
Somebody's
we have been doing
birthday
this
today.
every week
And
since the first week in January.
Listen. Anytime someone wants to surprise us with any sort of vacation somewhere,
Right.
you just let us know. We are available. Passports are ready.
Yes. My passport. Oh, you know, that actually reminds me. Mine expires next year.
Okay,
So, I got to get that taken care of.
But
Oh, no, but it's going to be good to go.
Listen, I got 8-9
was it
years
this
on my
year?
passport.
2008. When did I take my father on
So
that trip?
it should be 10 years. So it should be 18.
This is 18.
So right, 18
But
should
it
be
was
when
April.
So it should be April of 18 that it's going to expire. Like it's probably good till, well, we're in May now, so it probably was good to the last day.
Yeah,
of
but I
April.
wasn't going anywhere right now. So when I get home, that's
But
on
you
my
might
list to handle that, because I can't remember if it was 18 or 19. So, all right.
But anyway, it is the 2nd of May. It has been a great day. It's been a lovely spring day.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I stayed inside, but
I mean, I did too, but I got out just enough to get enough pollen in my nose to sneeze all day long.
oh wow, yeah, I'm good.
All day long. Like I'm going to sneeze like tonight. I feel it because I was just outside.
Right.
I'm going to sneeze. But anyway,
So I finally got my AC fixed,
good for you. Blessings and sweet joy in the morning.
honey, because I was on the verge of cutting a bitch.
Wait a minute. So how about I do you one better? So I come home and yesterday and the windows is open. I was like, that is exactly the face that I made. I was like, the fucking windows is open.
Right.
I was like, so for me, what that means is the fucking air is off.
Right.
Bitch, what?
It was hot yesterday.
Listen, all that's great, fine and dandy. There needs to be a breeze blowing.
Right.
But listen, I get it. You want to air your house out. It's the springtime. But I was having some
Honey,
complex.
get a lavender sachet.
Listen, I was having some really complex feelings about that. But anyway, we're gonna turn this fan on tonight because it's off tonight. So hopefully somebody will get the message that we need air conditioning.
Right.
Turn the air on.
Lord have
please.
mercy.
Close the window.
Well, so speaking of trips, we went to Cleveland, and normally that is not the beginning of,
a really bad joke.
Oh, right. You're like, okay, we went to Cleveland, but I had an absolutely wonderful time in Cleveland. Did you?
I had a good time in Cleveland, but you always have a wonderful time wherever you go.
I make my own good time.
Let's be clear. Yes, he does make his own good time. And listen, this is in no way, no shade at all. Dominion is the party wherever he goes.
This is true.
So we're going to just keep it at that.
So we got in on Thursday.
And
no. Let me start. Recall last week when I said that we were going to leave at 3 p.m.
Yes, let's recall.
What time did we get on the road? No, let's just start with, what time did you arrive at my house?
Like I said, I was going to get there after I got my haircut.
What time
after I got my haircut
o'clock?
After I got my haircut o'clock.
At my house.
I got my haircut o'clock. That's what time I got there.
Me, Renai, and Disciple was sitting there like, we are ready to go. No, it wasn't his fault. So my barber appointment was right before his. I got there at 1. I got in the chair like 1:10, and I was finished by like 5 minutes of 2. And you were there, but he apparently did his cousin's hair before he did yours.
He's like,
so he didn't show
up
to my house until like 4:15. But listen, it's fine. It's not that big a deal at all. It was just something to rib him about. So
after I got my haircut o'clock.
Right. The conversation on the ride up was cute and everything, and we got there. We did not have a gas emergency. Cause listen, I am one of these people that I'm not worried about there's some people who as soon as it gets below half a tank, they start getting worried. Well, once the light starts blinking, I'm not even necessarily worried then. And the last couple of years that we've gone, the light has been blinking for a good minute, because it'll start blinking when there's 50 miles left, and you watch it go down and down and down, and you're in trouble when it stops telling you how many miles left is in the tank. But we filled up halfway this time, so
I'm
we're
sitting
good
there
to
having
go.
a panic fest because this light is on like danger, 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 Will Robinson, danger,
Right.
danger, danger, Will Robinson.
And of course, you're on the Ohio Turnpike, and there's no turnoffs, and it's not like a regular interstate where
you can just get off.
You can just get off, and there's a gas station right there, so there aren't as many exit. And because they have those rest stop gas stations, they charge you a grip. I paid like $3.10 for a gallon of gas. I was not pleased about that, but so we get there. And we change clothes. We do a quick Wonder Woman change.
Well, yes, that was after some encouragement, because you was like, "We're going to bed." Now we did get there later than we anticipated.
Right, and listen, I am the life of the party, but I'm also the life of the bed. I'm always down.
Well, that's where most of your parties are out of town.
Shh.
Okay,
you're talking out of turn. You're talking out of turn. So I am always down to party, but if there's 2 or more people in the group that are like, girl, I could just go to bed, I'd be like, thank God.
That night was that bitch. I was like, bitch, let's come on, let's get it together. Get your clothes out.
Right, because I'm ready. I'm like, let me just kick these shoes off and put these rollers in my hair.
I said,
let me put this bonnet on. I was ready to go to bed.
I shook one multi-purpose ensemble out, and I was like, let's go.
Right, I was like, all right, well, I'll go. And then we went, and it was cute. And so when I had the hot dog last year, it was good, but I was just not into this whole change your life. I mean, I said it because, I was like, okay, whatever. But I don't know. Maybe I was super hungry or something, but so, you get the bun, and it was just a regular old hot dog. It wasn't like Cleveland's own special made with water from Lake Michigan or anything. It was just like Kirkland hot dogs or something, but it must have been that grill that ain't been cleaned since God was a boy or something, because he gave me this bun, and I put some yellow peppers on it, and the hot dog was nicely charred around the edges, and I put some ketchup and mustard on it. And when I tell you, that is the best hot dog I have ever eaten, ever eaten.
I am holding back the tears.
That hot dog was everything.
Now, let me be clear. It changed my life last year. Part of that was probably because I was drinking last year. House and ever. It is a phenomenal hot dog.
I don't know what it is. I even asked the dude, I was like, what do y'all do?
Shout out to,
because I saw
Chris.
I saw him. All he did was take a little package of frozen hot dogs and grabbed a couple and threw them on the grill. It wasn't like he, basted them with something. Right. Hey, Romulan, how are you?
And we did get our life. I got my life off that damn hot dog.
We got our entire life off them hot dogs.
And not to be funny, but Onu, you got your life too, boo.
You sure did.
But we're not here to talk about that. We can talk
No,
about
yeah,
it.
you don't have a TV show. We do.
But the hot dog was phenomenal. Shout out to Chris and the Leather Stallion.
And the Leather Stallion, it was cute.
Yeah, it was real cute. It was good. Like, it was a good time.
And then Friday, there were, there was getting the packages, there was walking around, there was the preliminary shopping.
Well, wait a minute.
Because there's the shopping and then there's the looking around. So I always like to go and walk the entire Leather Mart the first day to see what's available.
Okay.
So we did that.
But before that, there is this thing where it seems like it is turned into a ritual because you brought this up. It seems like I am walking in on you at the wrong time all the time. Like, this has happened like for the past just the past 2, or was it 3? But it's the last 2 consecutively.
The last 2 trips, yes.
And I'm like, sorry, but
Epic has walked in on me as the Italians say, in flagrante delicto.
And there was a lot of flagrantes and delectos going on the first time, and a lot of flagrantes, delectos going on the second time.
Yes.
So I'm just saying. And listen, get your life, boo. I'm on.
Right. We had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
And did we go to any classes on Friday?
Delecto.
I don't think I went to any classes. It was just that was just really a day to hang out and be sociable. I do recall as I was on the elevator got was getting full, and this guy was like, you mind if I stand in front of you, Daddy? And he put all his ass on me and everything. And I was like, what's your name? And he says, Adam. And I was like, hi, Adam. How are you? Oh, the bacon in the suite. So since we registered late, we got these club rooms on the club floor, and that comes with free breakfast. So we went up there, and they had like buckets of bacon and sausage and eggs and all kinds of foolishness. They had wine and beer in the afternoon too.
Listen, I didn't give a damn about that.
Snacks.
I'm here for anything bacon. So if you say bacon related anything, like, I'm there for it. But it needs to be the bacon. I don't want this bacon, and so I was there for the bacon.
Yes,
bacon. That's what I was there for, and it was down the hallway, and I smelt it, and it was bacon.
And who smelt it, dealt it. Sure.
Bacon.
Yes.
And I was.
I know what we did on Friday. Friday we went to Lynx's wax play demo, which was at Flex.
Yes.
And I had never been to Flex. Flex is a bathhouse, and normally I don't go to Flex because in these events I'm like,
but the bathhouse.
Why should I pay? Because you got to pay extra to go to Flex, or Steamworks at IML. And I was like, I've already paid money to travel here. People are giving it away for free in the host hotel, so why should I pay $40 to do it? But
now Steamworks is a different story.
That party looked quite festive. They were having a naked bear pool party, and I was like, well, next year I feel like I'm gonna put that on my list.
It was a naked bear pool party, but there was not one. Listen, the pool party. See this piece of paper right here?
Yes.
Blank.
Well, no, at the end.
Can you see that? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right. That's how many. Right. That's how many.
So eventually, it did.
And to be clear, that's not really a deterrent.
Right. Because what the one deterrent is, I like a pool party, but I don't like a pool party where you can't see the surface of the water because there's so many people in the water. Because I'm just like, all those asses and dicks, and I know all them people did not shower before they got in the pool. So
many people.
I just feel like after I get out of it, my OCD and my, gets to me a little bit, and I'm like, I can't get clean. So, but we still had a good time. And then we went back Friday night to the Leather Stallion and had another hot dog. And I was just like, what are you doing to these motherfucking hot dogs? It was just so good.
And I did so good. Shout out to all the brothers that we saw, and in particular, the pledge master of the Great Lakes line.
Yes, Vulture.
Vulture. I had a conversation with one of your pledges about quality of leather. So thank you for that information, and I'm going to make sure I back that up with some support and that we talked about. So I got you.
We got a lot to discuss. Oh, and thank you to the Great Lakes chapter of Onyx for hosting us all this weekend. We had a really nice time at, is it Lovely? Lovely's. Yes. The pizza was good. The conversation was good. The cocktails were quite tasty and cheap too.
Yeah, I did get
inexpensive. I got top shelf vodka.
Well, no.
I had like 4 drinks. So the one was, 2. I had like, is Ciroc top shelf?
I don't know if it's top shelf, but it's not
mid-shelf. Yeah. So I had a couple of Ciroc cocktails, and then I had some sweet tea vodka, and so I was having a really good time.
It was cute.
I was enjoying myself.
It was cute until I got my Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey, and then when I looked at the bottom of the cup, I was like, "Are these insects?" It dawned on me that if you don't seal that up because it's so sweet, they literally will taste the honey and they're attracted to it.
No, but you'd already drank it at that point.
I drank it. I looked down and I was like, I was like, can I get another one, please?
After you had drank it all?
Another drink. They gave me a different, she gave me a different drink. I got the sweet tea.
Oh, okay.
The sweet tea honey. But still, I was like, ugh.
And then Saturday, we went to some classes. Well,
yes.
There was an Asian and Asian American experience panel, which it was interesting to see the different forms of racism, because racism is so flavorful. It's so flavorful. Racism against black people, that's a flavor that everyone is familiar with.
Yeah, and everybody seems to
we're very familiar with at least we as black people are familiar with racism against black people. But I was not familiar with some of the flavors of racism against people of Asian descent.
And even the debacle that they talked about at the check-in where you got your shirts.
There's a fucking sign at the front, where you pick up your shirts for Claw that says "No ticky, no shirty," which was, something that the Asian character from Breakfast at Tiffany's said, I believe. There were some incredibly racist movies in the 50s and 60s. My favorite movie is Auntie Mame, but I still just can't get over the way that they treated Ito. Ito, it was a grown-ass man, and they had him talking like a small child. But anyway, so there was that forum, and then we had a people of color leadership forum. And of course, I confused Issa Arden with Kira Morgaine. Now, to be clear, because I went up to her, I was like, "Hey, how's your husband?" She was like, "I don't have a husband." And I was like, "Oh, is your daughter still in school?" She's like, "I don't have a daughter." "Oh, you're confusing me with Kira." And I felt so bad. And then she was like, "No, we literally look at pictures of each other and can't tell who it is. If you look at them, they literally look exactly alike." Wow. So they even get themselves confused.
Hair and all, height
hair and all. They're short, light-skinned women. Kira's from Toronto, and Issa's from New Orleans. Wow. But they look exactly alike, and so I didn't feel quite as bad when they said that they even get each other confused with one another.
Shout out to Taisha for
an excellent
whole
track.
Moderator.
That was the whole track, because there was an entire people of color track at Claw.
Yes.
There was a race play seminar on Friday, as well as another seminar on leadership, I think, on Friday, then the Asian American experience on Saturday, and the people of color track. So there were 4 classes altogether.
Yeah, that the race play one I wanted to go to because I wanted to sit in there and I just wanted to hear, because again, kink, BDSM, whatever your fetishes are, you will either be into them or you're not. And that's not necessarily something that I would want to play with, but I kind of just want to understand where people are coming from with it, and maybe try to, with that understanding, I won't have such a strong reaction to when I hear it or when I hear of it. So I'm just trying to understand it before I actually can really react to it fully. I guess it's probably the best way I can explain that.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that. So,
but anyway,
personally,
but also shout out to Taisha for Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass. You listen, Taisha, you get the motherfucking award for that, because that was everything.
It really was. It really was. That was a good one.
Listen, you get the award for that. You will get a certificate. And
and then Saturday night we went to the Academy. They had
what's going on?
They had a play. We're not doing that.
I got this. That's my little brother. I got this. We all right.
I feel like you set it up just so that you could call him Cardi B.
Actually, no, but it's okay. I'm okay with it.
Is it though?
I'm okay with it.
I'm not.
This is like race play. Don't yuck my yum.
Anyway, so Saturday night we went to the play party at the dungeon space at the Academy, and I had an absolutely wonderful time.
Once again, Dominion is the life of the party.
You know,
The party is the life that is Dominion.
I brought all of my glass dildos and some other dildos, and I played in a couple of holes, not hoes, and spanked a few people, and made some positive connections and
connections that we're calling it now.
And you got it in too a little bit, didn't you?
So I did.
Oh no! Was that
that was 2 different days? So
okay, sorry.
I did a little wax play. With Lynx, and then I also did a little fire play with Lynx. So shout out to Lynx, because I'm very comfortable with both of these now. So I had a little bit of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you did. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. So and then Sunday, we know we were going to breakfast, but listen, there was free bacon 2 doors down, so I went and got me some bacon. I was nice. I bought bacon for everyone. I said for everyone in the room.
Yes, you
I did bring bacon.
Yes, you did bring bacon.
Mm-hmm. And
you bought a plate full of bacon, and you walked back in. I felt like Jill Scott.
Right. So overall, the trip to Claw was pretty good.
It was good. Yeah, it was good.
And we're already booked for next year.
Oh,
well, you might need to book your own.
What did you book?
Well, they didn't even have. I'm fucking with you. They didn't.
Like, what did you?
No, they didn't. They didn't even have the suites on the whatever left. Those might already be gone.
I don't care about the suites.
But I got a room with 2 double beds.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're good.
What I was going to say, no,
2 queen size beds, so we're fine.
No, what I was going to say was, if it was like the suite,
yeah, they didn't even come up as an option when I was trying to do it. So I'm gonna try to, that will require me trying to coordinate with a bunch of hoes, and how I detest that.
We're not going to do that.
So first up, every day it's something different with Epic.
I feel like now this is becoming my confessional, my couch time, my thoughts, and I feel like I need to start paying you all for listening to me as I go through my own therapy.
Wax doesn't hurt, William Powell, if you do it right.
And the one thing that I am struggling with is, for anybody, whether they are old or young, child, adult, wherever you are on the spectrum and wherever you are mentally, a pattern needs to be set and a routine needs to be set for every single person. And so many of you may already know I have an aging parent that has Alzheimer's. So for me, it is all about trying to get her set up and get the resources that are available for her and to put her into a routine and to keep her into a routine. Now, all of this is necessary, but the setup for it has been a fight every single day. And so because I am 2 hours away from her, when I ask for help from family members, it has always been a hem and a haw and oh, I can't, oh, I got to do this, and oh, I have something to do tomorrow and I can't do this, that, and other. Okay, well, you know what? No problem. So as I fought through all of this crap to get everything that I need put in place when I need to get it put in place, then you have, Captain Save-A-Ho or that last minute family member that wants to come through and be like, oh my God, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. And you're like, and they let you know to say, I just want to keep you in the loop and I just want to let you know this is what's going to go on. Okay, great. I appreciate you now helping because you were not available to help before. But you've just set something up that interferes with something that I already had in place for her to actually start a routine or to continue with a routine. So my concern is, please do not get this opportunity knocked out of the box because you can't have her where she's supposed to be when I need her there to continue with this routine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll work it out. Okay, boo, well, we can work all that you want to work out, but I'm just telling you, this is what I have set up.
Mm-hmm.
So that has been a fight and a struggle. And I listen, I'm appreciative of all the help that I can get. So if you are watching, I'm appreciative of that. However, I need you to back down, because at the end of the day, when I ask for help, because I only reach out and ask for help when I absolutely need it, you weren't there, and that's okay. I get it. But now that I've got it under control, or trying to get it under control, leave me alone unless I ask you for help. And so that is one of those struggles that I'm constantly battling with, and trying to figure out the best possible way of just saying, I got it. Leave me alone. I don't need your help right now. But the way that I know how to say that is probably not the most family friendly. But we're getting to a point where I'm getting ready to stop being family friendly. So that's where we are today. And that's my everyday is something different. And actually, it's more like it's the same every single day. But that's where I am right now. So that's my truth right now. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, we're at 30 minutes. We still have a whole show. Do you want to save your number for next week, or you want to?
Look, I'm a professional. I can go. We can do it this week, next week. I can do it after the break, before the break. It doesn't make a difference.
So we'll put you next week. You'll be the star. You'll open the show next week.
Okay. Well, I mean, I am the star, but I mean, of my number.
Oh, yes. Of your number.
And you have some complex feelings about it. You be like, you are not the star.
This is a co-production, honey. Dominion and Epic. It's not.
Everybody has some complex feelings about something. As a matter of fact, you have complex feelings this week, don't you?
I do. We're going to get to those in a minute.
Oh, we're going to put okay.
Yeah. So first up, Joy Reid. So y'all know Joy Reid over the last couple of days has been having to receiving some pushback because of some homophobic comments that were unearthed on her old website, which is now defunct. And at first she was like, girl, I've been hacked. These motherfuckers hacked me.
But she didn't say that, though.
She sure did.
I thought she said she did an investigation.
She did. She said she didn't write the comments, and that someone had gone in and retroactively put the comments in, and people were calling bullshit on all of that. And she was like, but that's not me. That I didn't say those things. But now she has had to come out, and then on Saturday she came out and she said some really terrible things, and she asked for forgiveness, and I'm here for it. And here's why. She said what she said. She apologized. Most of the people giving her shit, frankly, are white. Black people are always held to a higher standard, even among liberals. You know, and everybody was cool. Everybody is cool with Brian Williams being back on NBC, even though that motherfucker straight out lied about being in a firefight and did a whole lot more shit that was whatever. And now he has his own nightly show back. So Joy Reid lied. She said she lied. She apologized for those terrible things she said. And she, I feel like, we should forgive her and let it go. What you think?
I don't really know how I feel about Joy's comments. Mm-hmm. And because my understanding was that she did not do the I was hacked thing, and I think I was happiest about that. That's what I remember about this particular article. Mm-hmm. And she very well may have said that at first. And maybe the verbiage of the article that I heard was that she even though she did that, she corrected that or something, something along those lines. But for me at this particular point, it was 5 years ago or longer. I think it was it more than 5 years ago?
She said initially Reid had hired a cybersecurity firm to check blogs and said that she'd been hacked. But after a week of internet sleuthing, she backed off that claim and said those posts do not appear to have been the results of hacking or tampering.
Okay. All right.
So
maybe that's the context.
Right.
It was in the context in which I read it, that's how I
right.
interpreted that. So, okay. But I feel like, first of all, I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago.
Right.
I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. I'm probably not even the same person I was yesterday, just for a couple different reasons. But I do feel like we need to start while we hold people to high standards
Right.
and they're in the public eye, we need to start giving an allowance for some. But I'm still not sure how I feel about Joy. I don't dislike Joy. In fact, I enjoy Joy. I enjoy her because of the way she actually sits down and actually talks with people.
Right.
Her interview for me with Killer Mike a couple weeks ago was everything. And I would shout out to Killer Mike because I didn't think he was as polished and on point and so politically aware. But anyway, I think she handled
This was
that
after
very well.
she read him for filth.
Right, but
So.
but and again, once again, he apologized,
Right.
said, I missed, and so, but again, with Joy, I like the way she handled it and when she brought him on the show. So that's why I feel like I don't know where she is. I don't know whether I'm really agreeing with her apology or not. I'm sorry. I don't know if I'm not agreeing with her apology.
Sure.
And I think I'm actually leaning towards giving her a pass. So
Yeah.
that's how I'm feeling.
Right. I mean, I'm certainly not the person that I was yesterday. And definitely not the person that I was 5 or 10 years ago. And she said that she genuinely didn't recognize the person that wrote that. And so she was like, no, I certainly didn't write that, because she said her thinking is so different. And in this case, I believe her, because the way that she has carried herself as long as she's been like on MSNBC is entirely consistent with her position in support of LGBTQ people. And I can get that and I will accept that. I mean, it's different when people say, oh, that's not who I am. But girl, you wrote the tweet yesterday. I mean, this is entirely different. If we could have shown a pattern of continued homophobic behavior, then that's entirely different.
Yeah.
But if you wrote that shit 10 years ago and there's been nothing but positivity in the past 5 years, and it's been sort of consistent, then, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So there we go.
I'm leaning towards giving her a pass.
So, the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The way that she went in, what is this woman's name? Michelle Wolf. Michelle Wolf. She was the host of the Saturday's White House Correspondents' Dinner, and she went all the way in. And so one of the best ones, she called her Aunt Lydia from The Handmaid's Tale, but I don't really know what that means. So
I don't either, but I feel like when you hire this comedian, you really need to know her track record. You need to know what her style is, because that's like, there's this one comedian, I cannot think of her name. She is hilarious. She is this blonde white woman from New Jersey. Her mouth is filthy.
Lisa Lampanelli.
Lisa Lampanelli.
Yes.
I feel like you've hired Lisa Lampanelli to
Not
come.
really,
not that bad.
Right.
But again, if you hire Lisa Lampanelli to do anything, you need to know what her background is. And with her, clearly this is consistent for her. Like, there's no Bianca Del Rio. Bianca Del Rio will never, well, I'm not going to say she'll never be at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Right.
But if you hire her to be at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, trust me, every last person in there is it's fair game.
Well, the problem is that this administration and all of the people in it and all of the people connected with it say the most vile things, starting from the top down, starting with your president, all the way down.
Oh, your president. Okay.
Your president.
Okay.
Not my president.
Okay.
Not his president, but your president.
Okay.
Says the most vile things about people all the time. And then they love to call people snowflakes. But if you say anything less than, we're all perfect or whatever, then, everyone gets offended. Now, they knew what the fuck this was. They knew what the hell it was. And then Sarah Huckabee, now she did read her for film. She said, what's Uncle Tom but for white women who disappoint other white women? Oh, yes, Aunt Coulter.
Hey,
so then your president decides that that he's going to cancel, or at least not continue, the White House Correspondents' Dinner in the same way because it was so mean. And I was like, you say mean shit to people all the time. You were literally on Twitter saying terrible things about people all the fucking time. So fuck that and fuck all of them.
Samantha Trixon's what's going on.
So, anything to say on that? All right.
Can we just talk about this merger between Sprint and T-Mobile?
Sure.
T-Mobile has, and actually, when it first started, it was supposed to be Sprint acquiring T-Mobile. It actually is T-Mobile acquiring Sprint. At this
really?
point.
Okay.
T-Mobile is actually valued at like $55 billion, whereas
Really?
Exactly, and Sprint is only like $26 billion. And I was like, are you kidding me? So again,
I thought they were both worth like a nickel and 10 cents.
Listen. But that's what the merger.
Well, if that's what they're worth, then how much is fucking Verizon and AT&T worth?
Wait a minute. And they're third and fourth consecutively on the wireless companies.
Right. So
the flip side to that is once they merge, and then once everything is approved and everything else, but because they've already got the talks and they have to go and have everything approved through, so it's not a monopoly and all that good stuff. Once they get that approved, then they will give AT&T and Verizon direct competition. But the flip side to this is AT&T is trying to merge with Time Warner. Are you kidding? So basically, you all have come from here to here, and then AT&T is going to go from here to here with their merger, and so we're still going to be back in the same place where we are. I'm concerned about the customer service because as a Sprint customer for damn near since 1998, it can't get any worse.
right. So
I'm
you
just a
can
little
only go up.
concerned. So I mean, I hope that when y'all do this, that you all have some training and better benefits for us that have been with you since the 90s.
I wouldn't hold my breath.
That's just my topic. Sorry.
So-
That's one topic.
Kanye West.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So Kanye West was on TMZ Live on Tuesday, and he said that the 400 years that Black Americans spent being enslaved was a choice. And now people are trying to say that he was trying to make an analogy or whatever, but he said what the fuck he said. So, and luckily there is
Video footage.
He went
on TMZ
and all of these things, and the producers at TMZ pushed back. But I feel like what I wanted to, first of all, I've never really cared for Kanye's music at all.
He's just
At all.
there. And I mean, I actually, you know when I pay attention to him? I paid attention to him when Selena Johnson was in the background singing her face off on All Falls Down.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, I just don't really like most hip hop music. So my like of him previously had nothing to do with his politics. I just wasn't super into him.
He has sealed the deal with me.
But he
politics.
has sealed the deal with it. But I want to talk about, is he just an ass or is he mentally ill? Because if he's just an ass, he's just an ass. I think there's something.
More.
I think there's something going on there, which is why
more.
I'm not ready to jump on the hatred bandwagon. I think that he is in a place where he can't get help because he's under the thrall of the Kardashians, who don't give a shit about anybody but themselves. If I'm trying to. Chloe, or I had to think of the names. Chloe or Kim or Courtney or Christina or Kwanzaa or Carmelita or Quinella or Consuela or the skinny young one Kylie and Kendall and
Kimmery and
Kwandanetta and Candace and
don't forget Kwanji, who's the twin of Vanjie. Vanjie.
You know that's gonna be my Halloween costume. You know it's gonna be my Halloween costume. We'll just get a shirt and cover it with plastic flowers and get a busted wig. Yes,
and one shoe around your ankle.
Right. But I honestly think that if Chloe or Kim or Courtney were having this kind of public meltdown, that they would have committed her or had some sort of a family intervention, but they are just letting this brother swing out here in the winds.
Well, he did.
When at a minimum, he's ruining his brand.
Well, he did do some couch time, and counseling time in like 2015, 16.
He needs to
something
go
like that.
back.
But I agree with you. And to be quite honest, unfortunately, ever since his mother passed, he's been in a downward spiral.
He's in a downward spiral enabled by people who can't say no to him for one reason or another. Some of them can't say no, and some of them don't want to say no because he plays into, they're like, look at this dumb nigga over here saying ridiculous shit. So it sort of plays into whatever they think about other black people, and him being a fool in the public eye allows people, everything that people say about black people to, have something to point to. Not that I really care totally about that, but for him, I wish he would just shut the fuck up. Because things like, slavery was a choice is exactly the shit that other people say. And even well-meaning people say shit like, oh, if I was born back then, I wouldn't have been a slave. Yeah, you would have, because your mother was a slave. And your father was a slave. Everybody that you knew was a slave. It wasn't that people were like, oh, I'm just going to hang out here because I couldn't do anything else. Do you understand that if you lived in Alabama, how far? Yes, a few people did make the journey to Canada, but bitch, your ass won't even walk to the corner to the motherfucking 7-Eleven. So you're going to walk all the way from Montgomery, Alabama to Toronto, Canada to get your freedom? Get the fuck up out of here with that bullshit. And you were a slave because your entire fucking family was a slave, and the entire infrastructure of the country was designed to keep you in bondage. So it wasn't that people didn't, try to resist in ways great and small. If you read books, you would find about how the slaves would destroy the equipment, or the master would come down with some strange illness because the house slave, even though they tried to divide us, the house slaves were putting ground glass in your fucking food. So we resisted in the ways that we could. Slavery was, I'm sorry.
Let's come on back down just a little bit. Let's bring it on back down.
Drink this water.
Let's drink this water. Let's go on to the next topic.
Anyway, fuck you, Kanye, and fuck dumb people who say stupid shit like slavery was a choice, or if I was born back then, I wouldn't have been a slave. Your dumb ass would have been a slave.
So let's go on back. Let's go on to another topic. Let's talk about how Beyonce came on to Coachella and slayed.
We already talked about that last 2 weeks ago.
But again, she came back.
And she did the same performance. And I was a little, I didn't see the second performance.
It was just,
she had a different costumes though.
I mean, she just red jersey, but still she slayed.
Of course she does.
Give her another shout out.
I love me some Beyonce.
But then also, don't forget, my girl, Janet, is back on tour. And so she has added new dates. And she actually is looking for dancers. And so it's so funny because, again, I was like, oh, my God.
So you going to be a dancer?
I absolutely not. Listen, these toes and these knees are not allowing me to do anything except for chair dance like I've been doing for the past 10 years. And I'm good with that. But I wish her luck. But she looks great, though. Her new promo shots for the tour, she looks great. She looks just like LaToya, though. I mean, that is her sister, but she's looking like LaToya, like the less cosmetic version of LaToya.
Oh, well, that's still unfortunate.
Yeah. But she is looking like LaToya, though.
So, Drag Race. This week's episode was called DragCon Panel Extravaganza. I actually liked it. So first they had this mini challenge where they had, it was called Sitting on a Secret. Now I thought that was stupid. She looks good, but yeah, she's starting giving like you a little, LaToya-ish.
Yeah, like, you're gonna get rocked.
Right. But it's cute though.
It's cute though, but anyway.
It's cute.
But Drag Race.
So it's Sitting on a Secret. So they basically had each one of the drag queens sit on a variety of different things and say what it was. And it was an opportunity for dick jokes and double entendres, and it was fine. So then in the main challenge, they had to do a panel like they were going to be on DragCon.
Right.
Which is a drag convention that's held in New York City.
And LA.
Or is it LA?
It's LA.
It's LA. But I thought they also have it in New York because I feel like I've seen it.
So I think it is. It's held across the country, but I think it starts. It originated in LA, but I think they have a version in New York as well.
And so the goal of it is that it's a marketing opportunity for you as a drag queen to build your brand. So she allowed them
Let me check that because I feel like I'm might be quoting.
Okay. So they allowed them to work in teams of 3 of their own choosing. So if the chemistry didn't work or whatever, that was their own problem.
Yeah, it's in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So the first team and the winning team was
The winning team
Who was it?
consisted of Monet Exchange.
Monet, Cameron, and Eureka. And they had this slogan that they said, come on, you say with it.
Wait.
Proportionize.
Yes.
And everybody thought that was ridiculous, but it was exactly what it needed
Right.
because you needed to do something that was a little dumb and a little over the top, but it worked because Cameron, Monet, and Eureka all have different body types, and it was about maximizing whatever your assets are and minimizing your flaws and coming up and using padding and doing whatever. And they engaged the audience and they did a wonderful job. The next team was, I don't remember that. The losing team was Aquaria, Blair, and the Vixen.
The Vixen, yeah.
And they were there to talk about hair. And the problem with them was
They
that
was being
they
so
spent the whole
goddamn
time trying to be shady to one another, and they thought the shade was cute, but it didn't land because it was just mean and petty and not funny, and it made the audience uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was. And the thing is, the shade was so unnecessary. It was unnecessary shade.
Yes.
But it just even if you'd have cued everybody in, we knew what it was, but it was like they didn't.
Right, and they
Like,
didn't, and they didn't give a lot of information.
No, there was no information whatsoever.
Eureka's team was in the top, and Eureka was the winner of the challenge. Vixen's team was in the bottom, and it was Vixen versus Blair. And then when they had the tops and the bottoms, they said to Blair, it was like, well, you didn't give this energy. You're always giving this, this. Not high energy performance, but you're like Little Miss Sunshine,
sweet and
right?
pretty.
And she said, she talked about her first sexual experience, which was being raped at a college party, and that she uses this smile and this personality to cover up the darkness that she lives with every day. And it was unfortunate that she was in the bottom too, because that put her in a bad place, and so she lip synced against the Vixen on "I'm Coming Out," and the Vixen.
So wait, let's talk about Vixen and his outfit.
I actually kind of like the idea with all of the hats.
The idea of it was great, but
Okay.
just like they said, there's so many things that were left undone. Like the concept was phenomenal.
So
And
she wore a black and white sort of beach hat,
floppy hat.
beach hat, and then her entire dress was
like
made out of
spiral, floppy
beach-
hats.
beach hats.
But then she had this raggedy thong on underneath the bottom that you saw up the
Right.
crack. You saw the sides of the dress.
she don't have no ass.
She has
She's
no
skinny,
ass.
so.
But then she went and was trying to add some detail to the hats by painting black bands on them, but they were crooked and ragged, and I was just kind of like,
it
was unpolished.
right.
And I agree with, I'm not sure if that was Michelle that said it or if that was Rue that said it, but I agree with the unpolished piece of it.
Yeah.
The idea was great. Like
Yeah.
I thought, but
So the theme was hats around something. They should have called it Say Something Hat Day, but sure.
well, that would have been, yeah.
So, and Eureka's outfit was everything. She had on this black and white houndstooth bodysuit.
Yes.
And a cape and a hat. And I was like, that's a lot of pieces. I actually like Cameron's headpiece because she had this sort of gimbal out thing. But other than the headpiece, there was nothing to it. And it was also interesting because this was the first time all season where they had confessionals from Cameron too.
I enjoyed what's her face with the big
That was Asia.
Miss Asia.
Asia had on a motherfucking
IKEA. It's a lamp at IKEA. Let's be clear. It is
No. It is the smaller version, but she made it much bigger.
That is the
Basically,
lamp.
she looked like a dandelion.
Yeah,
she
but
had
that-
a headpiece
Right.
on that was a dandelion, and it moved
It was-
as she walked
yeah.
and everything. It was,
It was-
phenomenal,
yeah, it was.
and it was flawless.
Yeah.
So, Vixen won the challenge.
Yes, she did.
Or won the lip sync for your life, and then I
was-
appreciated that they all hugged her.
Yeah,
at the end.
I don't really know how I felt about that because I kind of I thought it was like, oh, this is gonna be a good lip sync, and then I thought, okay, Vixen, you got it. But then I was like, oh no, Blair actually is giving me a strong performance. But then Vixen and these flips and twirls and on the ground,
I felt like it was too much.
Yeah, so
I
what
felt
are
like
you
it was.
doing?
I felt like you were just pulling everything out
Out
of
of
the bag.
yeah, and I was like, what?
And
What?
I just think that the level of
Performance.
performance for the lip sync has gotten so much better, especially, I mean, the bar is set higher when you look at people like Shea Coulee and, I can never remember her name, Sasha Velour. And, you know, you look at iconic performance like when, what's the big black girl?
Latrice motherfucking Royale,
when she did You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman. I mean, just like, you know, those sort of iconic performances, you can't literally just stand there and dip and twirl and, you know, just do it. And she actually, like, there was the song with the horn, and she with the horn, and I was like, that is just ridiculous. But I just think that it was slightly better than Blair's, and I just think Blair's energy was just done and over. Based on everything that she went through.
On Blair's on her lips, and I thought she did a better job, but
of carrying the song.
Yeah, but again,
all right. So we got 4 minutes left. So,
are we going to talk about stunt queens?
I have a complex feeling. I got a complex.
Let's end the show with a complex feeling.
All right. So we go to these leather events all the time. I think for a number of reasons, you and I don't experience, you know, the event the way that some people do in terms of things like consent violations and other things, because we are there. First of all, we're black. And you're less so, but we are persons of substance. So ain't nobody checking for the fat black kids. Well, mostly.
And on top of that, I don't know where you're going with this, but on top of that, this attitude just ain't
right. I don't have the kind of face that says, touch me and get away with it. I have the kind of face that says, if you try it, you'll get fucked up. Although someone did try it, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But I'm going to talk about something that someone posted today in the CLAW. And for those of you who don't know, CLAW stands for Cleveland Leather Annual Weekend. I thought it was awareness, but all of the posters have been saying annual. So, okay, fine. So in the CLAW group that said, you know, he was already like leery of fucking with you girls. I'm paraphrasing. But he said he doesn't want to come to events where people touch him, where people basically touch him and, you know, or shove their finger in his ass. And he talked about he could feel the person's nails because they hadn't trimmed them and everything. So he was saying this. And then so everybody was like, well, did you report this to the authorities? And, you know, like a lot of people who have been assaulted, they don't necessarily report it because they don't want to they just want to dash over it and move past it and not deal with it. And then other people are like, well, if someone touched me like that, you know, they would immediately get whatever. And, you know, and then some people are just like, well, just brush it off and move on. I'm like, but you all are missing the point. And then the worst thing that someone said was that, well, you should be glad someone thought you were attractive enough to touch you. So what? That was like the whole fucking plot of, what was that movie where Jodie Foster was raped on the table? Someone violates you, and we're not talking about this. We're talking about someone sticking their finger in your ass dry with their raggedy ass nails, and you're supposed to just be like, stop.
And if you've never seen that movie, The Accused, it's a good movie.
Right. You know, that people think that is the appropriate response. Yeah, for some people, it's okay to just, you know, if someone touches you in a way that you don't want, or puts their hand on your thigh or your ass or on your dick, to just be like, no. But some people just don't want to deal with that. And some people, and they shouldn't feel like they have to do that. People should know to keep their fucking hands to themselves.
Yeah. I think, so for me, I feel like I'm giving people too much credit, because I feel like as adults, as a responsible adult, whatever responsible, like, and I put that in quotations, I feel like you should know some of the basics of even being a child.
But they clearly don't, because this happens every year. And this is where I get to my story. So last year, we were at the Stallion. I hadn't had my hot dog yet. We are standing in the corner in the back, and one of our brothers had to pee. So we had circled around him and to to like provide him cover so that he could pee into this cup. And this white guy comes up to me and puts his hand around me, and I feel like, so what had happened was, remember, we had gone to that party at the play party, and there was nobody at the play party.
Right.
And so we left. And so I had on my fucking clothes.
I remember.
Which was just a t-shirt and some basketball shorts with no underwear. So he stuck his hand inside of his underwear and put his finger in my butt. Now, I understand how people have that kind of reaction, but I had the reaction of taking his hand and slamming it on the fucking table. Now, of course, everyone else is in the circle,
right.
So all they saw was my face and like, why are you so mad? Now, I am not at all traumatized. I'm not at all traumatized. I didn't even think about it until like this year, but I can understand how people could have that kind of reaction. It's the same kind of reaction that Terry Crews had. You look at Terry Crews, and when that guy stuck his finger in his ass, which is what that guy did, Terry Crews said he was paralyzed. And look, you think of Terry Crews, this big, buff, muscular dude.
He groped him.
No, I thought he put his finger in his butt.
I didn't.
Or maybe that's what Anyway, he touched him inappropriately.
Right.
And Terry was like paralyzed.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of reasons, because this was a famous person in Hollywood, and you got your whole career to think of, which is the same thing that these people go through on a lesser scale. If you are at Claw and you know, first of all, you've been violated, someone's put their finger in your ass or done whatever, and then people are like, well, if you just make a fuss, then he'll know not to do it. But by making a fuss, now you're drawing attention to yourself, so you have to constantly relive it, and everybody's going to come up to you and be like, what happened to you? What did you do? Well, why didn't you just push him away? Why you let him put your finger? They keep blaming the victim.
Right.
So, you know, we're going to have to do better. So what I did was say in the group, I was like, look, baby, I am not on the board of Claw. I don't have any way to affect the policies of Claw. But if I go to an event and I see that happening, you best believe that I am here for you and I got your back. That doesn't just go for my brothers. That doesn't just go for other black people. That goes for anybody. This only continues to go on because people aren't saying something. So I will be that person that says something, at least to get you out of that space at the moment. And I think more people need to start being that person and start doing that.
I agree. I agree. And it's unfortunate. The whole thing is just unfortunate. And
yeah.
Everything you needed to learn in life, you learned in kindergarten.
I thought we did.
I feel
that,
like people are just missing that whole thing.
People's justification is that, well, it's a mostly gay male leather event, and that people are there to be sexual.
Somebody's finger in their butt.
Right. I mean, listen, have I put my fingers in my fair share of butts, but it's always been consensual.
Yeah.
You know, I've never just walked up to a completely random person. And that was another thing. It's a little different, but it still be a consent violation, but it's markedly different from like doing like this. And, you know, you all are making eye contact and, you know, you're checking the signs to see if he's into that, versus this guy apparently had on a jock strap. So this person was like a random person who felt like just because he had on a jock strap that you could go and take advantage of this person like that. And yeah, we clearly need to have some more conversations, because some people seem to think that that's okay, and think that, you know, behavior like that is acceptable, and it is entirely not.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
I just want to, Andrew Cuomo. So Andrew Cuomo, this motherfucker said that he was undocumented. First of all, Andrew Cuomo is giving off an air of desperation, because at first with Cynthia Nixon, you'll remember her as
from Sex and the City. She is
Claudia?
No. It's Samantha.
The lawyer.
She's the lawyer.
Right. On Sex and the City. Is running for governor against Andrew Cuomo. So now, and at first they was like, oh girl, don't nobody give a fuck about this actress or whatever. But Cynthia Nixon is not to be fucked with. Cynthia Nixon is just not some rich white woman who, she has a platform and she has a plan, and she is to the left of Andrew Cuomo and appealing to all of those people. So he was at some sort of a speech or whatever, and he said, you know, I too am undocumented. My parents came to this country and we had nothing. I was like, wait a minute, wasn't your father the governor of New York? Y'all didn't grow up poor. You grew up in the motherfucking governor's mansion in Albany.
But he was undocumented.
Girl, bye.
And he struggled.
Yeah, he struggled. He had the struggle.
He only had one nanny.
Right. One. And she also had to be the cook. What a horrible life he lived.
Jesus. Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah. So, anyway, girl. The BGKH show streams live on Wednesdays on www.voxwave.com from 9:15 to 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time and 6:15 to 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Episode.
So, I just want y'all to know, y'all started this crap. Y'all started this crap, but anyway, go ahead.
Episodes are available on YouTube every Friday. Search for Vox Power 373 and look for the BGKH show of Dominion and Epic. I'm just going to skip that part because until it happens, I'm just tired of talking about it.
Look for us on Facebook, and we're going to get some.
Right, look for us individually on Facebook, and hit us up. So, Epic, how can the kids get in contact with you?
So the kids can reach me on Facebook at Epic Onyx. You can also reach me on Instagram at I am Epic. I'm sorry,
that's what you said.
I said Facebook.
Oh, and it's okay.
Epic Onyx.
Sure, honey. Go on. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay.
You got it.
So you can reach me on Facebook at Epic Onyx. You can also reach me on Instagram at I am Epic Onyx, and you can reach me on Twitter at Epic Onyx 1.
Okay.
Dominion, I can reach you.
You can reach me on Twitter and Instagram at DomOnyx, on Facebook.com, DomOnyx, and my website, www.domonyx.com. So, thank you all for joining us, and we'll be back next week. Next week's going to be a slow couple of weeks, but then I'll be getting ready for IML, and I will have.
Yeah, but we may want to. I know.
Shh. We're still live.
You're not going to be recorded on the film. Yes, you are. You're recording me.
So next week, or actually in 2 weeks on Memorial Day weekend, I'll have a report or after Memorial Day weekend, I'll have a report from IML, and you'll have a report for DC Black Pride.
Yes, DC Black Pride.
All right, so I'll be looking forward to see if it's reclaimed its former glory, because I used to fucks with DC Black Pride, and then she fell all the way off for a while, and that's when I started going to IML. And
if it wasn't for DC Black Pride, I might not be here if it wasn't for DC Black Pride, because DC Black Pride was everything.
Yes,
everything.
Well, all right, kids. Thank y'all for coming out. God bless you, and good night.
Mwah. Night, y'all.
Sexual chocolate. Sexual chocolate.
Are you sitting down? Are you sitting down?